I said, I want to be mayor one day. And I had said this probably at this point, it's probably 7 or 8 years ago. I'm in my second term, my first year of my second term, so almost 5 years of serving as mayor, the first female mayor of Pender County. So it's quite an honor. But I didn't run on being a woman. I really ran on that I love my community. I just had a yearning that I wanted to give back or to do something grand. In that moment, or in those moments, I learned that I loved nonprofit work and I loved obviously giving back to my community. I also believe in self-care. Like, I have to take care of myself to bring the best version of myself.
One thing people assume about you that's completely wrong. Welcome back to Rebel Rootz. Today's conversation matters because it's easy to sit on the outside and have opinions. It's a lot harder to be the one that actually makes the calls. I'm sitting down with the Mayor of Burgaw, Miss Olivia Dawson, and we're not here to talk politics. We're here to talk about what it actually looks like to lead a small town where the people you serve are the same people you run into the grocery store. The pressure, the responsibility, the moments you don't get a second guess. And the part I'm always curious about, who have you become to carry something like that? So Olivia, let's get started here. Everyone, so before the title, before any of this, who were you as a kid and what parts of her are still showing up in how you lead today?
All right. Well, first off, thanks for having me today, and it's good to see you. And I do always appreciate being able to share my story. And actually, I think I learn a little bit of something every time I tell it. So it's really great. So sometimes later in life, you realize, you look back on history and like telling your story and like, man, that makes sense. So growing up, I went to middle school, high school here in Burgaw, worked some of my first jobs. So pretty much born and raised here. I grew up as a small child in the town of Rose Hill, but again, all right down the road. So everything's connected, right? So born and raised in this area. I haven't really lived anywhere else. And I knew growing up that I loved community. My mom took us to a lot of festivals and events and parades and such. And I just had a yearning that I wanted to give back or to do something grand. Obviously never knew what that was going to be. Fast forward a little bit further in life, went into healthcare and business administration, had an opportunity to work for the Blueberry Festival here. And so again, knew that I love festivals and events and parades and such. And so I went into doing that and did that for about 7 years, which rolled my opportunity or job into tourism, which is, I don't want to say selling, but promoting Pender County. So not just the Blueberry Festival, but Pender County as a whole. In that moment, or in those moments, I learned that I loved nonprofit work and I loved obviously giving back to my community. And during that time too, I got really involved on town boards such as Parks and Rec, Planning Board, and just learned that I liked, again, government, and most importantly, helping my community reach its potential, right? I just saw there was so much opportunity, and I just wanted to give back. So learning all that, I said one day, and working kind of closely with the mayor, I said, I want to be mayor one day. And I had said this probably at this point, it's probably 7 or 8 years ago. And I was like, one day I want to be mayor. Maybe I'll run for a town board position at what they're called commissioners, recently changed to councilman. But I said, well, one day I want to be mayor. And then in 2021, it was time for the local election. I had no plans of running for office at that point in time. I just didn't think the timing was right, or really just wasn't leaning on it. Come July 2021, we needed somebody to run for mayor. Our incumbent wasn't sure that he was going to run, had not entered. No one else had entered. And some folks knew that I had my eye on it in the future, right? And so put my name in the hat. But at this point in time, I had already put in probably a couple months prior to another job position, and because I wanted some advancement or some more opportunity. But that kept getting delayed, and so for all good reason, I guess, right? And so I put my name in the hat, and I said, well, it's, either this job opportunity or mayor. And so, because I couldn't do both. It wasn't going to allow me to do both. And so I'm thankful that this job opportunity didn't really pan out. so much very thankful for it now, but the mayor role did. And so here we are. I won the election. The Comet did decide to run after I put my name in the hat. Come November, I won by, I say, a significant amount of votes. I think it was like 24 votes, which matters. All it takes is one. And, but we did have, I think, some of the highest number of folks voting. And most importantly, it was getting out to say, locally, a lot of times you don't know when it's time to vote. And so sometimes that gets forgotten or caught in the weeds. And so we did have a lot of folks turn out. And so here we are. I'm in my second term, my first year of my second term. So almost 5 years of serving as mayor, the first female mayor of Pender County. So it's quite an honor. But I didn't run on being a woman. I really ran on that I love my community, that I was already so involved, and it was about service and giving back and, making my community better. And not just my community, it's for the county as a whole. And so there's my grand thing that I didn't know I was going to do. But if you would have asked me, I don't know, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and as a child, it wasn't, I'm going to be mayor one day. I had no clue. But it's funny how life turned, the path that leads you down and what you learn that you like and that you're good at, and just wanting to achieve, the things you want to achieve in life.
We were just talking a little bit before this, and I was Googling this ChatGPT, and really quick, I was like, what's the percentage of females in this role? And it was higher than what I expected. It was 25%. And so I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. And because I think you're the only female mayor that I currently know. So that's why I know. So, and we met during your tourism when you were working at the tourism for the VME Farms. And so that's how I kind of got a hold of you. And then you keep popping up in my circles. I see you at Wilma, and I would see you out. I saw you at the Atkinson Parade with cheerleaders, I believe.
I do the Blueberry Scholarship Pageant. So it was our Blueberry Queens, yes, that we were there with, yes. So yeah, let's go back to the women mayors. So again, I ran, again, not on being a woman, but again, first elected woman of Pender County. So made a little bit of history there. We now have two of Pender County, but I also didn't know a whole lot of women mayors either. But it does turn out, the mayor of Leland, she is a woman, and she's been mayor for quite some time. But I am part of the North Carolina League of Municipalities, and we have a North Carolina Mayors Association. So I had jumped right in as I became mayor in November of 2021 and got affiliated with this group. When I arrived, I was like, oh, I was really impressed by the number of women and the diversity there of age and color. And everybody's just, again, we're in a room full of mayors, so everybody's pretty much got a lot of the same mindset. So it turned out to be such a great organization and so many, good friends now. But there is a lot of women across the state that are, a significant amount. You said 25%, but significant amount of women mayors in North Carolina. So
what do you think, did you have a perception of what this role was going to be? And then did you get like a reality wake up call with that? Or you're like, no.
Yes, that. So there's not been, I don't even think maybe one time that I've been like, oh no, what have I gotten myself into? No, it's been very humbling and rewarding. And I like to finish what I start, for sure. And I'm one of those that, I'm kind of in it for the long haul, so, and I think I knew what I was getting into. I had been on enough into the town meetings and the town boards. Also, again, like I said, I learned to like nonprofits, so a lot of other boards that I was a part of and sat on, involved in a lot of community things, as you had mentioned. But I think I knew what I was getting myself into, right? So I didn't go in green, obviously, as mayor, or if you come in on the board, you're more privy to information. But I think I'll probably be a water and sewer pro before too long, with all the water and sewer conversations you have to have. So that's a little shocking, but that's a good thing. But you have to take care of things. It's down from trees to sidewalks to roads to water and sewer to business to economic development to housing. It involves so many conversations. But for right now, I have to bring the word off. So you never know what you're. Again, there's so many moving topics. You don't always know what you're going to deal with, but it hasn't been bad, hadn't been awful. I enjoy serving as mayor and learning all the new things and really getting involved and making sure that I'm well educated and well knowledgeable of all things government.
Take me through like a day to day. Like, what does your typical day look like?
Oh, well, it just depends. It really just depends. So let's see. So sometimes I am at the office some weeks, a couple days a week. So sometimes I walk in and it's quiet and I'm just sitting at my desk and I'm catching up on emails and just to-do lists and maybe a couple of phone calls. And then sometimes it's walking in and it could be a couple of complaints and a couple of just issues that we need to deal with. You know, we're growing. So there's a lot of projects going on, a lot of things in the works. And so and then maybe on things that we have to deal with at a county level or a state level. And so it really just depends. And then some days, I mean, it's not lately, but in the past, it's some days you're in the office and you're walking downtown to talk to some business owners. And then some days you're just in a lot of meetings. It's because you have to do the talking and the getting the things organized so that you can do what I say, the actual work too. Every day is different. It just really depends on what's at bay. But again, it's good. I say it's fun work, but it's rewarding work. It's humbling work. And I appreciate the challenges that it may bring. But typically it's not bad, not awful, not anything we can't deal with.
What do you think keeps you grounded when everything, because I know that there's probably lighter days like you were just explaining versus heavier days when everything is coming at you, but do you have a method to keep yourself grounded or to keep the stress? Because I know it has to be stressful at some time. I mean, you're kind of, I feel like it could be stressful. So what keeps you grounded?
Yeah, it can be. And so I definitely believe like I have to keep a well-balanced calendar. So well-balanced calendar and list keep me very organized because I do always have thoughts and things I want to do or see accomplished. And so I'm a list maker, maintaining my calendar. But I also believe in self-care. Like I have to take care of myself to bring the best version of myself, right? So it's taking care of myself so that that I'm presentable and that I feel well. So it's all the woman things, getting my hair done, keeping my nails orderly. I like to always dress professional. But those are things that keep me grounded and keep me, again, bringing the best version of myself. Also, a lot of affirmations and scripture so that it keeps me grounded and remembering, the purpose behind it all, for sure. So those are the things that really that I tune into it's every day to keep me moving and strong. And sometimes some weeks are like, we might not have it all together because it's like, okay, I've got, 25 emails I need to return. But then once you get all that accomplished and done, it's like, ooh, okay, I can breathe a little bit, cleaned off, check everything off my list. But I'm guilty of doing it to myself. I have all these ideas and things that I want to see accomplished. And so my list will get a lot longer.
Do you ever get to go outside of the mayor mode and just be you? Or are you always, wherever you go, are you in mayor mode?
No. That's a good question. I didn't even touch on that. No, being in mayor mode is a 24/7 job, but at the same time, and we have staff. We have staff to take care of all the, the large issues and things. But, and then they'll call me or text me or email me, when they need something. But no, I get out. I mean, so this past weekend I went on a youth trip to Fort Caswell, and then I get away and not mayoring every day, and I do take time for myself. And then again, I'm a wife and a mom, and I do have to have my days where I'm like at home and I got to clean my house. Again, that keeps me orderly. If my house is clean and my life is together, again, I'm bringing the best version of myself. And I like to binge watch TV and just take my downtime. So again, balancing it all helped.
I was going to ask you, what was harder, being mayor, wife, or mother?
Oh, I know. I know. Some days I'm like, well, man, how can I be a mayor and maybe not have my family together? But no, it's all equally well. So let me tell you this or share this. So right now, like we mentioned, I was working with in tourism, and so that has changed over the last year, and so I have been doing some substituting and at schools, which is something I really wanted to do, but it's really rewarding. But sometimes I'm like, if you can manage a classroom, you can manage a town. So especially depending on what grade, it's like, oh, if you can survive fifth grade, you can survive all the things that you have to do to manage a community and run a town or to serve as mayor. So,
do you think small towns are underestimated when it comes to like the opportunity and impact? I mean, I fell in love with Burgaw as soon as we seen it, but a lot of people would look at Burgaw and go, small town, not much opportunity. But I personally don't think that's the case. And I'm sure you don't either. But what do you think? Like why people underestimate?
I think that, a long years ago, that was definitely the case. I mean, some towns like Burgaw, we've done a lot to raise the bar. And here in Burgaw, we definitely have. So it's definitely made small town living better. But I think folks in the last couple of years as well has wanted to resort to small towns. But it's also about, in some small towns, it is about the quality of life here and what else is here, right? Where is there opportunity and such? But again, I mean, there are 554 towns, cities, states across North Carolina. Most of those are going to be small towns, and small towns are where folks live. They live in the big cat cities too, but they typically work in the big cities and they live in the smaller towns. And our smaller towns are really trying, again, to raise the bar and to provide the best quality of life for their residents as possible. So again, I think too, it depends on if you're helping your small town reach its potential. That matters.
What do you think makes Burgaw so special? So you can be completely biased here if you want.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, when you live here and you work really hard at the things that you're doing, it makes it's special. But, Burgaw is all things blueberry, so that we love that and all that we can do to promote that here. That's our branding. Our town, especially our downtown, it's centered around our courthouse square. So we have a lot of history here, and it's just, it's such the dynamic here. We call it kind of the hallmark town, right? And so that's just what makes it special. And then with all the things that we do to add to it, all of our events and festivals and the things we do at Christmas to make it feel like hallmark. I mean, that is what makes it so special. But there is no place like home. And so when you're just taking care of your home, it makes it special.
No, and that's funny that you said hallmark, because that's what I thought too as soon as I saw Burgaw. I live in Wilmington, and then weekend I guess I'm not even at Burgaw, and I'm over at Atkinson, which is another little small town over there.
Yeah.
But I just love always coming to town and doing that. But it does feel like hallmark once you said that. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's what makes it feel so homely, and just, it's so quaint. And I think that, when I grew up in a small town too, but then I was that kid who I just want big city life. I wanted to hustle and bustle and all of that. And then what do? I go back to, I went out of the hustle and bustle and I went back into the quiet town.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
What's something that you're fighting for Burgaw right now that you're like, if this will be my impact, if I can get this to pass or change?
Oh, let's see. So funny. Again, talk about reach and our potential and getting all the things here that Burgaw needs, or I feel like I say what I feel like it needs, but something that we're fighting right now. Again, I come from the tourism world, and Burgaw, an issue that we're facing right now is we split our occupancy tax, and as a small town, we don't have a lot of money. So fighting that issue and really wanting Burgaw to keep that money for itself. So it's kind of a small thing, but to some folks, it's a big thing. And for me, it would be a big win if we could get Burgaw to keep that. Politically right now, property tax and our values and things for Pender County and in North Carolina in general are big conversations. Again, my whole motto behind everything I do is like, we just have to explain the way things work. We all want to see our tax dollars used for good, and we want to make sure when we say, oh, what are our tax dollars paying for? We want to see what they're paying for. So if we could just help the dynamics around property taxes in North Carolina, but in Pender County, it's just something that is a big thing, but it would be a small win if we can just, help soothe our residents over on that. Another thing too, something I'm looking to achieve or would love to see achieved, Burgaw is going to grow. It's been held back growth has been held back for a little while, which has been a great thing. Everything's about timing. We're going to have a lot of housing opportunities here. Again, that could be a bad thing, but on the town level and the opportunities that brings, it's going to be a good thing. So I'd love to see a small hotel here. That would be a very significant win as well in the next couple of years if we could make that happen.
That was my wish. I was like, just bring a hotel.
Yes.
Because
we don't have a lot. We don't have a lot of accommodations here. And my theory is you build it, we can fill it. Because right now we can't fill it because we don't have it. But there's a lot of missed opportunity there. So keeping that occupancy tax, building a hotel so that we'll build that and that we can reinvest that money into our community. That's kind of where my mindset is right now.
Now, I that's why I told you, I'm like, please get us a hotel or something there because, again, you have the Blueberry Festival and so many people travel out of town and then they have to travel to go stay and come back the next day. And I just think, and there's so many other little things there that people would stay the whole weekend for. And I'm sure even with that hotel, that brings even more opportunities for you to have events and things like that if there was just a little bit more housing for people to spend the weekend versus come for one day and do that. But
absolutely.
We're going to get it.
I think we're going to get it. We're going to get it. Burgaw is, people know where Burgaw is now. Growing up, even so, people are like, where's Burgaw? And I'm like, Burgaw's right down the road. And we'd be in Wilmington, right? I'm like, it's just right down the road. And so, but people know Burgaw now. People know where it's at. And the more we grow and the things that keep getting added here, folks are coming and day tripping and visiting. So they're coming and visiting, day tripping. They don't have a choice. That's the only way they can do. We have one Airbnb, not Airbnb. We have a few Airbnbs. We have one bed and breakfast, but we need a small hotel that will accommodate all of our festivals and events. And we have, some nice meeting spots and locations. And then when you come to stay with family, we'd love for you to be able to stay here in Burgaw.
So Burgaw houses like some of my favorite things. I love the farm shed, which I'm hoping Jen will come on the podcast soon. I've been talking to her.
Oh, yeah,
and then the Burgaw
great.
Brewery is always a fun spot. And there's always things going on. If you could wish one more thing to be added to Burgaw downtown, what would you pick? What do you think Burgaw needs?
Oh, one more thing. Oh, so
I talk like we're there. Like, we have the coffee shop.
Yeah, there's a coffee shop and pizza place, Burgaw Brewery. We've got Patty's Place that just opened, which was a great, nice breakfast brunch location. Atmosphere is great. We don't have a lot of storefronts that are open. We have some, but we need some more boutiques. And so I would love to see those. And that's a good question, though. It's kind of like, what else? I don't know that I have the perfect answer, but, what else would go here? But, something else that sticks out that I keep saying too, like we need something similar to the General Mass store because we're country, Burgaw's not as country as it used to be, but we're country, all things blueberry. We're agriculture on this side of the county. So something that complements what we have downtown, but that is when folks come to Burgaw and they're going to Burgaw Brewery, obviously we want them to stop at our boutiques and Old Farm Shed and all the shops, but kind of that's another draw. We also have, some antique shops.
Yeah.
One of the antique shops is one of the biggest ones around. And then the Glass Close, really kind of eclectic and antique all in one. But, we're just looking for some things that will bring more folks here. I compare Burgaw to almost like a little mountain town. It's, our tourism here in Burgaw looks a lot different than it does at the beaches, right? But, we go to the mountain towns because we want to walk around and want to go to like the General Mass stores and go to those places. Like, why don't we just build it here? Why don't we just have it?
I agree.
Here in the own backyard. And so kind of another theory is like, we just have to create it here. And again, I think we're getting there. Something we're trying to achieve, or I'm, trying to help get folks to have a vision and see. So I think it's coming.
It's coming along. If someone is thinking about going into the role of mayor, what's a piece of advice that you would give them?
So let's see. So I find myself telling other mayors, or again, folks that want to get involved in politics, as mayor, it's my job you kind of have to help set the tone, right? You can be very positive and optimistic, or you can not be, and that it maybe runs your, it's obviously the opposite. It could be running your town into the ground. And so you have to help build the culture, right?
Yeah.
And you have to play sometimes I don't say the middleman, but you're kind of, trying to keep everyone on the board up to date, and, the communication there. And sometimes that can be difficult, making sure everybody's, on the same page and understanding. And so I think too, you can come in with your own, some goals, right? You're going to come in with some goals, some things you want to see changed. But I think you have to come in and also understand that might not be able to come in and change it all. And especially when you learn, if you don't know how government works, it can be definitely, it takes time. And the theory is that government operates slow. And that is the case. Again, timing is everything, and there is process and procedure behind it all. And so the good reason why government runs slow. But then my theory too sometimes is the things that need to take time, let them take time. The things that don't, then let's not, right? Let's do it, go ahead and knock it out and move on. Just because government runs slow doesn't mean everything has to run slow. But those are just, little tidbits of things that I've come to realize over the last couple of years. And it is about leadership, right? I mean, you're not coming in to be bossy, which, tends to happen sometimes, but you're coming in and you're coming in to be a good, positive leader, hopefully, to be able to take care of your employees, to take care of the residents, but then also bringing, building the culture and changing, making the changes where you can.
Do you think from the first term that you got elected to the second term that I'm sure you've had growth in how you led the first year versus how you're leading currently?
Yes, but I feel like that's a funny question too, because I think I came in, I don't want to say I came in too strong, but I didn't come in, I don't think I came in too strong, but you come in strong in the beginning, and then again, you find it, you have to kind of find your humbleness along the way. And so sometimes I'm like, maybe, where was that my attitude when I first came in, right? Like, I'm not strong now, but sometimes maybe you don't end up being as strong as you first came in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
A little bit. And so sometimes you get, not that I've gotten softer, but it's also like, okay, you just get maybe you do get a little softer though, because again, you learn to be a little more patient. You learn to be a little more gracious, and the timing.
And you probably have opened your mind, because you probably had a pre-notion of like why things weren't getting done before you sat in that chair, I would assume. And then you sat in there, you're like, okay, so this is a process. It's not going to happen in 2 days. It's going to happen over 2 years, and I think that would be my hardest part, would be like, I want it done now. Like, how do we get this done now?
Well, and as a woman, right? I mean, I think we can admit, like, I'm results driven too, right? And so it's like, gotta make it happen. But I think too, again, we've done so much that I've almost kind of gotten like, okay, so it is true. You learn you learn why things weren't getting done, or you've made those corrections of, we've gotten a lot done in the last 4 or 5 years. There are some things that still maybe aren't done, and I'm like, oh, we need to make sure we take care of that. But we've gotten a lot done that I think I have been able to get a little softer, because we've done a lot, and now we can't rush the rest, or if that makes sense as well. Yes.
And you have a daughter, correct?
I do. Okay. I have a daughter and a son. Mm-hmm.
So are you the cool mom, or they're like, oh, mom, don't do the mayor thing?
So most of the time I'm the cool mom, but occasionally they'll be like, Mama, they'll occasionally they'll do that. But most, obviously, their friends, everybody knows me, or I call myself small town famous, right? We're small town famous when you when everybody knows you and you think I think I know everybody, but there are still some folks that I don't know or I don't know well. But so again, I think most time I'm the cool mom, but occasionally they do still like, Mama, they'll hide their face or, but they don't mind having me around. And I think they've learned like it or not, you gotta,
I think it would be tough, kind of like what my daughters always said too. They're like, we don't get by with nothing. Like we're, we can't, not that they would ever get by with anything, but they think that they want to get by with something. They're like, I can't go anywhere because everyone knows you or, all this. And, I can't, I'm just not normal. But my kids always said that. They're like, I'm just not normal. I'm always, cleany, whatever. And I was like, oh, whatever.
Right. Yeah. And I try not to, and that's true. Right. I mean, yeah, it's like they all know me. They'll tell me, but my kids are, obviously I am a little biased, but they're good kids and they know they've got to be right for that reason. But obviously that's the way, we've raised them, and they'll say they're more scared of me than they are their dad. But they know mama means business, right? But yeah, I mean, they've grown up with me being so involved in the community and things. Again, they kind of really just don't have a choice. But again, I try not to hold that over them. Occasionally, I will say, y'all are the mayor's kids. You better, make sure you act right. You gotta look right. But I try not to put that pressure on them either. I try to make sure there's a good balance. But as moms or parents, and we want to make sure I want them to make sure they reach their full potential at the same time. I don't like pushing them too hard, but I want them to the sky's the limit in some ways.
No, I love that. And yeah, someday they'll appreciate all of it, I think, and it'll come in handy. They'll use it. Some like my girls, they'll use it to their advantage, and then it's okay. Once it goes towards their side, then it's all, you're cool again, So
yeah, absolutely. Well, I tell them too. I was like, one day you'll realize why, one day you'll love it and you'll realize it. Why I pushed you or, offered you this or whatever. So.
All right. So I haven't done this for a while, but I thought it'd be fun with you. I usually do a little rapid fire, just a couple questions, and you can do one answer or a couple more one answer. But one thing people assume about you that's completely wrong.
I think sometimes some folks think I'm not nice or, because they don't know me, right? But once I open up, they're like, oh, okay. That's for people who really just don't know me.
Coffee or chaos?
Coffee.
Best small town tradition?
Lighting up the Christmas tree.
What would your younger self say if she saw you now?
I think I don't know what she'd say, but I think obviously be happy. But it's like, oh, you've come along. Maybe it's like you've, come a long way or something. I don't know.
No, I should be super proud. Being there. So, I'm sure she was not thinking that you would be mayor one day. So I think
right, yeah.
Well, it has been a pleasure to get to know you, and I don't think I ever thought that you were mean. I thought you were very.
Yeah, but some people will see. I mean, I'm sure it's like.
Because you're
they'll
deep
see your
in thought.
face, and you're not smiling, and they're like, "She looks kind of."
You're scrubbing. You're having a bad day. But I think women get told that all the time because we're always deep in thought, and there's a million things going on in our mind, and you kind of have that look on your face, but you're just really concentrating. You don't mean anything by it.
You're concentrating, you're thinking, you're just not. I was like, I can't walk around smiling all the time, right? No. But that's just something as women get.
We get that. Well, if you have not checked out Burgaw, North Carolina, you need to go see the spot. And the Blueberry Festival is coming up. It is June 17th, 16th.
It's always the third weekend of June. So this year, I think it's the 20th. It's June 20th.
Way off.
Just always remember the third Saturday in June because it always changes. But yes, that's coming up in a month. And so after this weekend, we'll have Spring Festival here in Burgaw this weekend, and then it'll be all things getting ready for the hottest day of the year here in Burgaw, the North Carolina Blueberry Festival.
I know, it always cracks me up. I'm like, it's June. Why is it the hottest day of the year? It always is hot.
Well, my theory is, obviously, it's one of the hottest days of the year. It's summer's, upon us, but it's kind of like we have between, 40,000 people. If you put 40,000 people in a small town, all breathing, hot air and sweating. It's just going to be hot.
It'll be hot. But it's worth it. Come check out
Yes,
all
well,
the
good,
festivities. I think it gets bigger every year. I feel like it gets bigger
Yes.
every year.
Yeah.
So
It is gonna be bigger this year, a little bit bigger footprint. Things are growing. Again, Burgaw, we're elevating things here and just in new ways. And so very excited with all the things coming. Blueberry Festival, and this weekend again kicks off our weekend of activities. Right, it's Spring Fest, it's Blueberry Festival, it's concerts on the square, and then it rolls us into, I hate to think this far in advance, but into fall and, Christmas all over again. And that's where we just stay busy. All the things to do.
well, if you attend, you'll definitely see Olivia running around, directing everyone. And we'll be there too, again, for our second year. So come check us out too.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, it has been a pleasure. Thank you for your time today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Always good to chat.